Hello, hello. How y'all doing on this beautiful afternoon? Sunday. I know it's bright everywhere around the world. Tonight is an exciting broadcast on Mississippi Vibes with Bert. Man, you don't want to know about what Black excellence is. You want to know about grinding. You want to know about how you can stay to the course. How you can go from a server to an owner. I got Miss Jackson, Miss Greta Jackson. She's on with me, but I'm going to bring her up, let her introduce herself, and we're going to get into the show and have a wonderful setting. How you doing?
Hello, everyone. How are you today?
If you would introduce yourself and, we can get the rolling.
Absolutely. So, I am Greta Jackson. I am coming to you guys all the way from Michigan by way of birth. And I am the first African American female managing partner for Outback Steakhouse in the Detroit market. So, that is who I am right now.
Wow. So who is Miss Greta Jackson?
Who am I? Well, first of all, I'm a wife. So I'm married to the wonderful Antoine Jackson. I am a mother to Ashton and Ashley. Ashley's my 26-year-old. Ashton's my 12-year-old. I have two grandbabies, so I'm a grandma as well
Okay.
to Aiden and baby Ace. And then beyond that, I mean, I come from a huge family. I was born and bred in Detroit, on the east side of Detroit, all my life. Um, Raised by my grandparents, come from a really, really, really big family. And I mean, I'm simple. I'm not, until now, I wasn't a whole lot to Miss Greta. I'm just a hard worker. I'm dedicated. I'm committed. I'm loyal. Um, but to keep it quite honest and quite simple, I'm blessed.
Right. So Miss Jackson,
Yes.
who was or is your biggest influence in life?
In life, wow, that's a big question. But if I had to pick, that would come very easy to me. And I would simply tell you that that would be my grandmother. Um, oh my gosh, she's my heart and soul. Grandma received her wings on June 3rd of 2020, so just not even a year ago.
Right.
At the age of 91,
That's
she
beautiful.
has been, yes, lived a long time. We had five living up until her passing. It was actually five living generations in my family.
Wow.
But she has been and always will be, the most inspire anything. I don't even have the words to describe what my granny meant to me. She was the most important person in my whole world, my whole life, from far back as I can remember. She was when you have somebody who was the first, she was the first to love me, the first to pray for me, the first to tell me I could, the first to teach me how to be a woman. So everything that I am or am going to be is all because of everything that she was. So my grandmother is hands down. I mean, there's no one that I've met yet who could compete to her. I mean, like I said, she lived to the age of 91. So just think, I got her for 45 years of my life. Um, so that was 45 years that I had to soak up that wisdom, to listen to her, to be taught by her. All of those things. Just the example of a strong black woman. She was married to my grandfather before he passed. They was married for 50 years. So, they set the tone for us. They set the example. Her and my daddy were the best. Like, this is the example of a family. They had 8 children. It's 34 grandchildren. It's over 20 great grandchildren. And when she passed away, it was five great great grandchildren. So it's a whole lot of us, but they still figure out a way, to unite the family, to keep us together, and just to raise us in love. So grandma, I mean, hands down, no competition. My inspiration, my world, my life, my everything, for sure.
So let's go back for a second. Let's go back 19 years ago. You started,
Okay.
you decided you're gonna be a part-time, you're gonna get a part-time job at Outback.
hmm
What was your other career at the time and where were you mentally when you went to apply for the job?
Okay, for sure. So I was working at the time in corporate America. So I originally had did an internship when I was in my like third or fourth semester of college for engineering architect firm, and I stayed there for a little over 2.5 years. I didn't know that internship for that position would last. I mean, I still had it then, but I also was a young mother. You know, I had Ash at 18 years old. I got pregnant and had my daughter. I got pregnant my first semester of college. By the time I entered into the end of my second semester of college, I was already a mother. You know, so I had different responsibilities. I didn't want to necessarily stop going to school, but you know, I had to work. And then you know, enough is never enough when you're raising a child. You're young, you're confused, you don't even know what to do, but you do what you have to do.
Yes, ma'am.
So I had to take care of her, which means I had to work and I had to have a second job in order to support us. So ultimately, when I went to Outback, I actually was taking someone else to get a job and uh, started talking to the manager. And she was kind of like, "Well, we do part-time positions. We can only do you need extra money." And at the time, I needed extra money, so I was like, "Absolutely." So it kind of just started from there. I talked to her. You know, she actually interviewed me on the spot, which rarely happens. You know, and then she hired me right then and there, like right there. And once I started with Outback, still working my full time job during the day in my career, business marketing, which is what I thought I wanted to do and thought I would do. Never thought I would be in the restaurant industry. But after just spending a short period of time with at Outback and meeting people, because I'm a social butterfly, so I never met a stranger. I love people; it's just who I am. So I was kind of in my element because I got to meet people, new people, different people every day, and do something as far you know. It was like I was having a party for them every day because I got to be their server, their bartender, their whatever, and it was just so much fun. So not only was I having fun, I was making money.
Right.
I mean, so to me, it was a no brainer. You know, it was a no brainer. It was like, hey, if I can have fun and make money, this might be it. You feel me?
Right.
So
Right.
ultimately, and it would be a very short period after where I decided to go full time with Outback, give it a try and see what opportunities lie ahead, and just how far I could get with this company. And that's where it started from.
So when was the decision made that as you go from part time to full time? So with your charisma, your hustler's mentality, you come in, you making people day feel very special.
Hmm.
What as you climbing up the ranks? When did it come into your mind? Hold on, hold on. I need to take this thing to another level, and I really need to become the first ever female African American owner in Outback.
Well, so it didn't quite happen like that. I didn't know. It really wasn't in my plan, you know, at the time. I was just so focused on doing, you know, being really good at what it is that I do, regardless of what title I held. So before I held the title that I hold now, I held every other title that comes before that. So, you know, I literally rose up in the ranks. And, you know, I was a server, a bartender, assistant manager, a kitchen manager, a front of the house manager, you know, and then ultimately a senior manager. I would actually be in the managing role with Outback Steakhouse for over 15 years. So I've been in a position of leadership with this company for a very long time. Was not necessarily focused so much on if I can or will I ever one day own the Outback, but what I can tell you for absolute certainty, I was always every decision I made and everything that I did inside and outside of work, I was positioning myself to if it ever becomes a possibility that I want to be ready. So, not necessarily knowing if I was going to be able to do it, but just saying if the time and the opportunity presents itself, will you be ready? What would that look like? Will you be able to take the opportunity? So then as time goes by, again, you develop a passion for what it is that you do. You develop a passion for your people. And God puts things in your way or puts you in a position for different reasons. And the pandemic Like, that brought a lot of us to reality, to our knees, to a pause, or to however it affected you individually. And for me, I got to watch the effect that it had on my team. This is my team. I've worked with these people for a long time. Some of them I hired, most of them I hired, or they've worked under me. So I've developed a relationship with them. So when I just saw what helped, I guess, guide my decision when it was all said and done is, with everything that went on last year, I just single handedly watched them kind of lose faith in a lot of different things. So in Outback, in the job market, in the world, just lose faith and hope because we were in a very dark place with the pandemic. So at the beginning and the end of the day, ultimately, when I was presented with the opportunity, the the reason, one of the driving forces behind my decision was I could put myself in a position to help my team, to remind them, of what, where we've been, but where we could go, to restore some of their faith, to have someone lead them to say, hey, I was there with you. I went through with you. We got it out the trenches. We're going to be okay. Ride with me. Let Miss Greta show you what we're going to do. So that was kind of ultimately what lit that fire. Was like, they need me, and I want to be there for them. I want to show them, that we could do whatever, regardless of what circumstance. We were the underdogs, coming into the race. But let's rise up and just, give 100% and just figure it out and fight for what we want and just be great. So that was kind of like the driver force, one of the driver forces behind the ultimate decision to take over the role.
Right. So, Miss Greta, when you spoke on a little earlier about positioning yourself if this opportunity came,
Hmm.
what advice would you give the listeners, people
Hmm.
that's watching also, that you needed to do to actually position yourself so you'll be ready, didn't have to get ready?
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so that falls on so many. That's a great question, by the way, too. But that falls on so many different levels. So oftentimes we ask for something, we pray for things, and we want something. We dream real big, and but when you do that, you have to be like ready to receive those blessings. You have to put yourself in a position to, if this thing ever happens, will I be able to handle it? Like, what will I be able to do with it, or will I be ready for the opportunity? So when I say I had to prepare myself, it's a couple of levels to that. So I had to make sure that I was mentally, you know, prepared. I
Right.
had to make sure that I was financially prepared because at some point through that process I had to write a check, right?
Right.
So right, they didn't give me the Outback. Let's don't misunderstand.
Right.
But so you have to make sure that you can financially do it. Then you have to, and then when you anytime you do something on this level, your home work life, everything changes, right? So the balance is thrown off. You're not kind of sure what's gonna happen. It's up in the air. You're gonna have to work more. So your hours is changing. That's pulling you away from your family. What's going on at home? So I had to like prepare my family, my kids, my husband. I'm going to be working really hard, really long hours. Can you guys be okay with if I'm not there? If I'm home left, what is that going to do? If I'm there less, is home still going to be okay
Right.
while I'm doing this part of it? So it was a whole bunch of things that I had to like put into place and into order just to make sure that if I did this, that my family, the restaurant, the different things will be okay. My finances will be okay. Like I will be able to survive this. So I mean, I prayed for it, and you stand on faith and you say, Lord, I know if you bring me to it, you could bring me through it. And I put my faith in it, but I also, you have to just be smart. You have to be position yourself to be in that mindset and in the space to receive those blessings when they do come.
How has your family, it's been wonderful communicating back with your sister, getting this together. I know she's been busy with the calls
Yeah.
and the
With
emails.
my whole schedule.
Right. So, shout out to her. Thank you. Thank you, sis, for doing that
Yes.
together.
She
Um,
she her sister's keeper. Yes. Shout
right.
out to you, sis.
So how has it been with the family with the whole transition into that? Hey, we finna, wife, mom, I'm finna be legendary.
Yeah.
I'm a legend.
So it was a little weird because it happened really suddenly, and it was only weird because like I knew what I was doing as far as taking over the role, and of course I had discussed that decision with my husband first and foremost, and then we kind of presented it to the kids months back. You get what I'm saying? But I don't think any of us, including myself, ever imagined that, like, because when I was going through this, it never clicked to me, believe it or not, that I was going to be the first, if I got this position, that I would be the first black woman in the Detroit market. So it's the Detroit market to be, to have her own store. Like, I wasn't thinking that far ahead, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking of trying to get it. That's where my focus was, you know, trying to get it. So I don't think either any of us thought like, oh my God, mama, or you're gonna be the first one. So that didn't occur to me until well after I had already done it. So what happened? Well, so my family, they just been, so they were like really cool. They were like, oh, on the Outback. That's live. So I was basically like, they were like really cool and nonchalant and kind of like, good job, mom. Way to go. And that was like kind of it. It wasn't like a real big deal to them. They're so used to me working and doing what I do. I've been with this company 19 years.
Right,
So when I say I'm an owner, they kind of like, okay, whatever.
right,
They didn't like react.
right,
So then you fast forward. So that was in October. So I ultimately signed the contract and actually officially um, got the title in the end of October of 2020, right? So a few months back. So fast forward to February, which would be February 18th to be exact, which would have been my 19th year anniversary with the company. So
right.
when I wrote that post, never in a million years would I have thought that it was gonna do what it did and take off and ultimately create this platform. Like our lives, literally that one post, and like literally changed our entire everything in a matter of hours. So at 12 something in that afternoon, when I wrote that post and posted it, thinking I was just, celebrating something, and it dawned on me when I was typing, and I was like, 19 years later, I own an Outback. And then I'm like, oh shoot, wait, the first black woman. Hold on, let
Right,
me put that in
right,
there, whatever,
right,
whatever. And
right,
then it's black, and then I'm like, oh, it's Black History Month, duh, duh, duh. It's Black Girl Magic. So I kind of just like put it all together and I put it out there. So to have it do what it did and have people be so receptive and inspired and just everything after hearing my story is nothing short of amazing. Like I could have never been prepared for it because I didn't know that it was coming. So we literally had to like pivot, me and my family and my kids, and just say, okay,
right,
wait a minute now. Life is a little different right now.
right,
How do we do this? So, my first phone call was like, I got a big family. My sisters, I got a lot of sisters and brothers. I called one of my sisters, my baby sister, actually. And I'm like, Nene, well, because she was the one who called me and told me it was going viral because I was working. And I'm like, I'm going viral for what? I was like clueless.
right.
So later on that night when we figured it out, I was like, I just called her on my way home when I saw it at that time. And at that point, it was only at probably like, I don't know, it was probably like 10,000 shares. And I'm just like, oh my God. And it kept going. So I kind of called her from the car and was like, you're hired. And she was like, because you got to understand, Bert, you got to understand that I
Yeah,
am not, when it comes to social media,
right,
I'm not that person. And I don't think it's anything wrong. But before now, I never had an Instagram or a Twitter or a Snapchat. Like I didn't have all those platforms and I didn't live my life on social media. So it was very foreign to me and new to me. And they like when she said you're going viral, and she had to explain to me what that meant. And
right.
then I literally responded was like, okay, make it stop. How do you go unviral? And she like,
What
what?
you? You can't make it stop, but when it's out there, it's out there. Make it stop.
That that is what I learned. Like, but that's where I was. I was like, make it stop. Like,
Right.
how did we get here? Because I was in shock. I was overwhelmed. Then you fast forward the next day when she called screaming in my ear, like, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, what is going on? And she was like, you have like 2,000 messages in your inbox. And you have like 1,000 new friend requests. And you have, and I'm like, oh boy. So, you have to figure it out. And I'm like, okay, now how do I contain this? You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I still got to come in here and run this restaurant every day. I'm here 6 days a week right now, 12, 14 hours a day. I don't know what time it is there, but here it's like 7:23. I've been at this restaurant since 8:30 this morning. You know what I'm saying? So I still I'm an active part. I'm an operation to my heart.
Right.
So I'm hands on in my restaurant. I work every day. So to try to figure out how I was gonna balance all of that, and then I didn't realize, okay, so the social media was the one aspect of it. And I swear in my head I was like, oh, this is gonna last like a couple of days and then it'll just kind of like go away.
Right.
No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. And then the news, once the news media got wind of it, and then I started doing TV interviews. That is a whole nother life in itself. Then radio, that's a whole nother life. So I'm like, okay, but I mean, the love that I was receiving from my people like you, people who I've never met before, people coming, the overpouring, overwhelming amount of people that comes to the restaurant still today, daily, just to meet me.
Right.
Um, the it's it makes it all worth it. Like I had to adjust, and we had to figure it out. And sometimes I do these interviews right from my living room,
I
maybe in the
love it.
car, like whatever. Because if people, if I can inspire just one person with my story, you get what I'm saying, or help one woman, one teenager, one little girl who's confused, or a young mother who's like, I'm 17 or 18 and I done had this baby, and people are telling me I can't do this because of, if I can have the opportunity for them to hear Miss Greta say, listen, you don't let people tell you what you can't do because of your circumstances. You
Yeah.
show people what you can do in spite of your circumstances. So if I can deliver that message to one woman that'll understand, hear me when I say trust the process. The
Don't rush.
struggle is, don't rush it. And the
Right.
struggle is gonna get so real, and you're gonna want to give up sometimes so bad. But you have to surround yourself with people who want to see you win. If you don't got a lot of people on your team who want to see you win, you got the wrong team. You have, and that's family, friends, whomever. You have to surround yourself with positive energy, but with people who want to genuinely see you do well. You feed off of that energy. When you got my circle, my people always was like, you gonna be this, you gonna do that. We team Greta and da, 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 even before I had what I had. I mean, because they saw me working towards it. They saw the sacrifices that I made, but their support is what helps you on those days when you feel like giving up, when you're just tired, when it was just a really really bad day, because you're gonna have really really bad days, and when you get to that point where you question like, why am I doing this? Is this really what I want to do, or I can't take it no more? That is when you're gonna feed off of that energy of the people around you saying, you got this. You can do it. You've come too far. Not doing it is not an option. So, if I could just get that message out to people, and especially women and women of color, and just let them know that we're born fight. We came into this world fighting. We're
Right.
fighters. Women, we just are. And sometimes you're gonna have to fight twice as hard if you are female and you are a woman of color. It just is what it is. I mean, it's nothing we could do about it. I was told early on in my career, by by someone who was supposed to actually be training me and helping and develop me, a white man that told me, but he wasn't gonna teach me to do his job because I was a black woman and I shouldn't be able to do his job. Like, to my face said that to me. And if I
Do
was
you
weak,
need a job right now?
You said what happened?
We need a job right now.
He probably do because he ain't with
Tell
this
him come
company no
back.
more.
Tell him come
You
back.
know,
Yeah. Tell him come back. He can mop some clothes.
period. Okay. So,
Right.
it's just, it's just amazing to just find yourself, on this platform and in a position to just tell your story. And it sounds different. When you look at the television and you see people who you may never meet in life doing really great and telling them their stories, that's awesome and amazing. But when you see someone this is like normal, regular old me, you could walk right in and see me at any given time in the restaurant on my hustle on my grind. But when you see someone who looks like you, who
Right.
came from the same place you came. I was born on the east side of Detroit, on 6 Mile of Davidson. When I say I got it out the mud, that's not me. You know, I'm
Right.
from the gutter. I'm from the gutter. I'm from the hood. Period. But it's all good because again, that environment and those people in there also helped me to be the woman I am today. It's not always gonna be rainbow and bunny rabbits. That's not life. So everything that I went through over the last 19 years to get me through this point, I needed those lessons. Does that make sense? Like I
Yes.
needed to go, I needed to go to those through those things and to be all the way tore all the way down. When I say I was tore down, tore all the way down to the ground.
Right.
Like the only place to go was up. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But it makes you appreciate it. It makes you understand it. It makes me a real person. This is not no, overnight success, rags to riches. I'm 19 years of
Right.
loyalty, blood, sweat, tears. 19 years of never giving up. That's a long time. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But but if I had to do it all over again, I absolutely would because it made me who I am. I mean, so
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you much longer. Um, turn this long while. Hey, once again, this Mississippi Vibes with Bert. I have Miss Greta Jackson, Detroit finest, the first ever female owner in the Detroit market of an Outback Steakhouse. 19 years in the game, from a part-time server to hey, she's the owner now. So
yeah.
once again, I want to thank you for my email, my inbox getting through, and I was like, she busy, she jumping, everybody here, she ain't, but oh man, the country boy got through, and
Yes, you did. Like my sister is amazing. Like
oh
she knows
yeah,
my heart. Like she knows my heart. She's one of the closest people to me. She knows my spirit. She knows the type of person I am. So she knows the things that are important to me. And not that everybody who's reaching out, but when you have to, prioritize and pick
right,
and choose, like she knows me well enough to know that my sister would love to do this. She would want to be a part of. So
thank
when
her,
it's my people, when it's my people who's reaching out to me, many, many miles away, never seen or heard of a Miss Greta, but want to hear my story, she knows that that is something that's near and dear. That makes my heart smile.
yeah.
So I'm here for it. And maybe one day you can invite me back. When I come back, I can tell you how I blew up. How I not
No,
only did it, but I
I got
really
something
did it.
better than
Okay.
that. I got something better than that. I'm gonna
What's up?
I'm gonna come to Detroit, to your area.
Okay. Oh,
And we go eat some steaks and we go sit down and talk and chop it up. Yeah,
I cannot wait.
yeah. I've been waiting to
I'm
come
going.
to
I'm
your
going.
area.
I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm born and bred in the D. So you come my way. It's all love. It's
Right,
nothing but love. Do you hear me? So
right,
just whenever you ready, shoot me some text messages and emails. Let me
right.
know so I can set some things in motion because again, I just appreciate it and I'm so thankful and so grateful for the love for sure.
The same thing. And like I said, I ain't gonna hold you much longer. And one of the reasons I wanted to reach out and I prayed and hopefully that you would take my invitation because
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
from a small town in Mississippi, Starkville,
Okay.
Mississippi, one of the
Okay.
most racist state in the world, and our
Ooh.
people in my town, we don't have too many success stories of people
Okay.
especially with females to make it out and become owners and become bosses, you know, in their own right. So
Yeah,
man, that's how I caught you. Like you say, you was going viral and
yeah. Unbeknownst to me.
hold on now, what's going on over here? What's going on over here in Detroit? So that's why I
Right.
out and like I say, thank you again. And I got just two more questions.
Okay.
Because you touched on it. No, three more. What percentage of female African American owners is in the Outback Steakhouse brand?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have the actual numbers for that. Um, yeah, it's so many Outback, so that would have to be something that I have never, I don't
Right,
know. I
right.
know it's not a big number, unfortunately, but it's over 630 something Outback. So when you spread us, across the brand like that, um, that is something that I could find out, but I don't know it for sure, and I don't want to misquote. But
Yeah.
what I know for sure is a very, very small. It's few. It's very, very few of us for sure.
How has other owners embraced you?
I was concerned about that. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know. I knew about the owners in my market. So like it's 9 other Outbacks in my market. And I kind of knew how they were because they've been pushing me to do this and helping me and training me and coaching me even before I really started the actual process. You get what I'm saying? So I knew how they were going to receive me, but I didn't know how everyone else outside of my own personal space was going to be receiving me. But once again, God is amazing. And it has been nothing. When I tell you love, just like you from state to state, from coast to coast. I mean, I've been messaged and emailed by representatives of Outback and other owners from literally all over the world, congratulating me and just thanking me. And if you need anything and you got this, it's just all nothing but good vibes, nothing but positive vibes. So that just, I mean, that not only warms my heart, but it just makes me want to work twice as hard because now I know I got, I've reached and touched all these people. So like you, so now I got to work twice as hard to make you guys proud. You know what I'm saying? Now that I have it, now that I have
Right,
it, I got to show y'all what I'm gonna do with it. You get what I'm saying?
right.
So we getting it together now, baby. I'm hiring left and right. I got some of these people showing up to my front door like, Miss Greta, we want to work for you. Can we work for you? Can we work for you? So I've been able to hire a lot more people, which is
That's
amazing
great.
because that means I'm spreading the love. And, I put people in a position to take care of their families, you know, in the middle of a pandemic when you could say, I done hired 10 people, I done hired 20 people in the middle of a pandemic, and now they have a way to provide for their kids and their families. That in itself is
Talk that
just
talk, boss.
amazing.
Talk
It's
that talk,
amazing.
boss. Talk that talk, boss.
So I have even like I said, I have not received anything but love, and it's just I mean the real love. People want to come in and just take a picture with me. They bring me flowers. Like it's just everybody. Like it like I have to step back and be like, are they really doing all of this for me? Like it's almost surreal. Like wow, but the genuine love and support, whew, it has been nothing short of amazing.
So I'm gonna read you a couple comments, then I have one more question, and I'll let you go.
Okay, go
My
ahead.
classmate, which is he my co-host with me, because we do a show on Thursday together, Misadvised with Bert and Poe. He just said it was
Okay.
absolutely amazing. Strike that iron while it's hot. He said, when I told him I would come and see you, he said, I'm down too. You have Miss Katina Blair. She said, I love her spirit, well deserving of what she has worked to achieve. Hashtag
Oh, thank you.
Greta Jackson. And
Yes, thank you, love.
so, what would you like your legacy to be?
When it's all said and done, huh?
When it's all said and done.
I can honestly tell you, so again, we started this whole thing off talking about me telling you about my granny, how important she was to me, the legacy that she is. I mean, she was the real queen bee, baby. So we, so when Granny got sick, again, 91 years old, I made her some, you know, she was always my go-to person. She was the one I called first for everything. Whether I was happy, sad, needed prayer, confused, tired, I mean, whatever. That was my first phone call, period. Everybody else came second. Kids came second, husband came second. Granny was first. So when she, sick, and on the last few days, I spent those last days with her because I refused to leave her side, of course. And when it was just Granny and I made Granny some promises. And one of the promises that I did make her was that I wouldn't stop until I had Outback because I just gave too much. Just ask her to watch over me and guide me and do all of those things from heaven because I was going to need her in order for this to happen, right? So just the fact that I was able to look up and scream to the heavens for my granny and say, Granny, promise kept. Just to be able to have kept that promise that I made to her in her last days. If I don't ever do anything else, I'm okay with that. You know. And then I had one of the I had a little a lady in here a couple weeks ago, and she showed me a picture of her 10-year-old daughter. And she said, can I bring her to see you? And I'm like, anytime, if I'm here, call, make sure I'm here because I'm always here. But I want to meet her. I would love to meet her. She wants to meet me, yes. So she said, okay. She said, she's really excited about meeting you. And, we talking. And she said, she she heard about you. She saw you on Facebook, heard about you, saw you on the news. I'm sorry, saw you on the news. And she wrote her Black History report on you. And I said, she wrote her Black History report on me. That right there, so that did it for me. You get what I'm saying? So again, if I never ever, if this is it, I'm okay with that because to be able to 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 make Granny proud, and then to be able to be a role model or inspiration to the generation that comes after me, to be able to have my kids look at me and say, "Ma, you was the first Black woman to do this." To have my daughter look at me and say, "Ma, you worked my whole life," and I always, was like, "Why do Mama work so much and work so hard?" And it's simple. I did what I did so that maybe one day my kids don't have to work so hard. Here. So if everything that I've gone through, all of my struggles, all my successes, and everything makes it just a little bit easier for whoever comes after me, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Then that means my job is done. I'm gonna allow Lord to use me as He sees fit, but I'm very simple. If I could just make somebody smile, I'm
Right.
okay with it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My co-host said, "Don't cry, give praise." I don't know if he talking to me, but because sometimes certain different stories, I get to crying on this thing. I don't, So, but either
Oh, I'm
one,
a I'm a crybaby. I've been crying.
yeah,
When this happened, I've been crying for like 4 weeks now. Okay.
right. But hey, you a Tigers fan? Detroit Tigers?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm a D girl to heart. So Detroit Lions, Detroit Tigers. I'm a
Okay,
D girl.
so it had to be summertime. Tell you, I'm coming through now.
All you gotta do, give me a heads up. And we in here. Okay,
I'm
we in
gonna
this
call the
thing.
chief. I'm gonna email
Huh?
the chief of staff first.
Yeah, you gotta go through her. She'll pencil you in.
Yeah, that's
Wow, well, I have truly enjoyed you. I really have. This is amazing. I thank you so very, very much.
no. I, I thank you. I really appreciate it. When like I say, I started this podcast, about a year ago, in the pandemic and to
Mhm.
do something to bring different awareness to my community back in Starkville and try to do my best to bring inspiring people on to let them know that hey, it's bigger things in the world, and just because, like you said, You coming from the hood, you getting it from the mud. You're not going to end up. You're not still going to be there unless you want to be there. It's
Would you
avenues
say
to
that?
get out. It's avenues to get out. And so I know when it's hit YouTube and different platforms and people share it and they can. I mean, I don't know. I thank you, sister, from the bottom of my heart. Me and my people, you lovely. You doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
I don't know what
See,
else.
don't you got to try to make me cry at the end of the show now.
I
I
was I
told
was
you,
I was
you
I was trying to I was almost pulling it out when you were talking about granny. I seen it from the I understand
yeah,
my grandmother raised me and she was she was that to me and she lived till she was what 95, 96. So
see, yeah. So that bond, whew, so to have to go through what I'm going through literally without her, that was hard for me. Like
right.
it was really, it was really hard for me because I didn't think, I didn't think I could do life without her. But she taught me a lot. And again, I know how proud she would be. So
Oh,
that's kind of like the driving force behind
oh
me
man.
being able to just, you know, just being able to just say I did it, that I kept that promise. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
You like you the Michelle Obama of the Outback family.
Oh wow. Well, that's a
I mean,
huge
sister, come
that's
on.
big.
Come on. But hey, I ain't gonna hold you up. I thank you once again. I hope
Thank
God continue to
you.
cover you with his blood, you and his
Thank you.
family.
Keep in contact with me. Email my sister. She'll keep up. Let me know if there's anything I could do, and absolutely let me know when you're on your way to the D. Okay.
Oh, we gonna pull up.
I love it.
All right.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Love.
Yes.
Bye bye. Hey, once again, people, that was Miss Jackson, and wow, her story. Don't you ever give up on your dreams in life. You go keep pushing and you better keep fighting and you better keep striving to be the best you can. Once again, this is another great episode of Mississippi Vibes with Bert, Sunday Addiction. And we'll be back Thursday. Mississippi Vibes with Bert and Poe. I know he cooking something up. We'll come together, bring something hot for you Thursday. Hey, Starkville, if you missed the Unity thing they had at the West Side today, make sure you go back and stream it. Look at the streams. Make sure you get in contact with Pastor Lee daily, Dr. Hogan, all the leaders in the community. We just trying to turn our community around. Make sure you take care of yourself. Be good. Peace.